Hello, it's Frank Klesitz. Welcome to our live Google Hangout on-air event, the Database Marketing Hangout, where I like to interview clients and people who are getting lots of success working their database of past clients, centers of influence, customers, unconverted leads, by getting email addresses, publishing educational content, then prioritizing follow-up and working that database proactively for business. I'd like to really thank you for attending this live event today. These are 100% educational. Everything you want to learn about viral marketing, about how we can help you do all this for you, get more sales from your database, interview on a webcam, write your articles, edit your video, put it up online. You can go to our website, getvyral, GETVYRAL.com, and learn everything you can want to know about that. So that's there. But let's just get right down to it today. There's plenty of open Q&A on these events. So there's a really cool, when you're inside this app on Google Hangout watching this event, there's an opportunity on the right to ask a question. Just ask a question right at the bottom, it'll pop up. And when the time is right, we'll ask Kyle that question. So feel free to ask any questions during the event if you'd like to know anything. And then make sure that if you go to our websites, follow us here on Google+, go to our website, get our newsletter, so you can be updated of future database marketing hangouts that are coming up that are designed to really educate you and help you grow your business. So with that, let's get to Kyle Whissel here. Kyle
What's
Whissel
up?
has his. What's up, man? Hey, thank you for doing this.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it.
So Kyle Whissel's brokerage sold 247 homes in San Diego County last year, earning 2.3 million commissions, which is fantastic. That's about 97.4 million in volume. What's your average sales price here, Kyle?
San Diego as a whole is 440. Last year we averaged right around 400.
Sure, a lot of people would love to have that selling price down here. And the Wall Street Journal rated this team #2 in the very competitive market of San Diego. And today, his plan is to sell 300 homes this year. And we're going to talk about, well, at least for the first 10 minutes here, I just want to get your story, Kyle, of why you got into real estate. And why don't we just start off with, for the first 10 minutes, before we get into how you get email addresses and how you create the educational content, what the topics are, and how you leverage that to your agents, and all the things we promised here in the write-up. Why did you get into real estate? And let's just talk about kind of the key things that you implemented to get to the point of having your own brokerage with a team of 15 agents doing this level of production in such a period of time.
Definitely.
So why'd you get into real estate?
My family is all from Buffalo, New York, and luckily they moved to San Diego 2 years before they had me, because I don't think I could have grown up in Buffalo, New York. Pretty grateful to grow up here in San Diego. And my dad started a real estate brokerage in San Diego in 1979. And he was mostly doing commercial real estate. Growing up most of my life, I kind of resented my dad a little bit because he was so busy with real estate that he wasn't there for me. Parents divorced, I think, when I was like 4 or 5. So grew up mostly living with my mom. My dad was never there for me in real estate. I always kind of resented real estate, never wanted anything to do with it. When I got into college, going to UCSD, my dad kept pushing me, buy a property, buy a property, buy a property. And when I was 19, I bought my first property while I was still going to college at UCSD and flipped it 3 months later and made 17 grand off of that. And when you're 19 years old and you make 17 grand in only 3 months, I had no choice but to be hooked at that point. So I called Dad, said, all right, let's do this. Let's get into this whole real estate thing. And so started working with my dad in 2000, mostly doing apartment buildings, shopping centers, stuff like that, helping my dad out. And that was fun. It was cool. I got to learn a lot. He's an amazing negotiator. The problem was he was so far off base from technology. A lot of times, if he wanted to send a property to a client, he would print the property out, then he would put a Post-it note over the other agent's name, and then he had a stamp with his name on it that he would put on the Post-it note, and then he would fax it out to his clients. Like, he was so antiquated with everything that he was doing. So, I helped him get some systems in place and get things up and running. And the business was doing really well, and we were doing a lot selling apartment buildings to condo converters, and they would buy the apartment buildings, $250 a door for apartments, spend 50 grand rehabbing them, sell them for $350. They were making a ton of money doing that. Unfortunately, the city came in and put new rules in place that made it almost impossible to flip apartment buildings into condos anymore. So now all the apartment buildings are $250 a door for apartments, even in the ghetto. And a lot of my investors are saying, well, I don't want to buy these apartments if I can't turn them into condos, so I'm going to start picking up houses now. And I started looking around, and you see this girl's got 30 REOs, this guy's got 50 short sales, this one's got 100. And at that point, I kind of saw the opportunity that I needed to make a shift out of the residential side of things, or I'm sorry, out of the commercial side of things over to the residential side. And that was when I branched off from my dad. That was in 2008 that I branched off from him. and started doing the residential thing and started working on getting the REO relationships. At 2008, though, I was a little bit late to that party. Ideally, that party started in about 06, 07. So started working the REO relationships and did a lot of short sales while I was waiting for that REO business to start coming in. So we did a lot of short sales. All this awesome gray hair here is all from all the short sales that we've done. Don't miss those at all. So we did a lot of short sales, and then finally the REO stuff started to pan out. We got an account with HUD, we got an account with Fannie Mae, we were doing Bank of America, Chase. We started landing some of the bigger accounts with REO. So things were rolling really well. I always had an assistant from day one, and it got to the point where we had so many listings that I was losing a lot of opportunities when it came to buyers. We'd have maybe 10, 20 listings at a time, which was great, but then trying to manage those and work with buyers simultaneous, it was just, there wasn't enough time in the day to do that. So I tried outsourcing all those buyer leads to another brokerage. I had a friend who owned a brokerage, and I was like, hey, I've got these leads, and I don't know what to do with these. I don't have time for them. So I tried outsourcing them. That didn't work. After 6 months, they converted nothing. So I said, okay, let's try something new. And then I tried having a couple buddies that technically were under my brokerage, and I'd send the leads to them, and they would try to convert them, but I wasn't managing them, coaching them, doing anything. And coincidentally, they closed nothing for 6 months. So I was sitting around on a Black Friday. This was in 2009 on Black Friday, and I was at my in-laws' house, and Dell had a big sale on computers, and I was just looking at this ad, and they were like $200 for a full computer. And I was like, you know what? It's time to just go big. Like, screw playing small ball. Let's go big here. It's time to actually launch like a legit brokerage and go big. And so I bought 10 computers on that day, and now I sat around, I'm like, all right, I got 10 computers. I need an office to put these computers in. So then I went out and I found an office space to put them in. And then I said, oh crap, now I've got computers, I've got office space, now I need to get agents to fill this office up. And in the beginning, I made every mistake in the book. I hired pretty much anybody who was willing to work for me, I was willing to take in. And that first year in 2010, I learned a ton about culture. I hired all the wrong people. And not that older people can't be successful in this business, but for our culture, we're very young, very tech savvy, very cutting edge. The two cultures just didn't align very well. So in that first year, we only did 82 deals as a team in 2010. Once I started to figure out how culture worked and get all the people out that just didn't fit within that culture, get younger, very hungry, very tech savvy, motivated people in, we jumped from 82 transactions in 2010 to 242 transactions in 2011. So just in 1 year, we had a huge shift in production because I got the right people in on the team. And so that's just been a huge theme for us, is having the right culture. We look at ourselves more as a family than anything, not necessarily a company, a brokerage, or a team. We're more of a family. So everybody in our company knows each other. They know each other's husbands, wives, significant others, kids, dogs, cats, pigs, all that stuff. Everybody knows everything about each other. So we're very social. We're not just hanging out together at the office, but outside of the office. We're going to each other's weddings. We're going to each other's kids' birthdays and all that stuff. So we just built this amazing family atmosphere. And we did, like I mentioned, a lot of short sale, a lot of REO, all that stuff. As we started to see that phasing out in 2012, we started to make the shift over to traditional. And to now, I think we maybe have 2 REOs left, and honestly, I don't even want them anymore. They're such a pain in the butt. So we've moved over now to we're almost 100% traditional with all the business that we're doing. And last year, we did 247 transactions, 97 million. And the cool thing is when we did 242 transactions, because it was so heavy on REO and short sale, our average price was 267. So in a matter of 2 years, we jumped our average price over 50%, and we're looking to continue doing that year over year, constantly increasing our price, doing more luxury at this point.
Great. Well, thank you. So what I'm really interested in before we get into all the technology, which is what everyone's here, they want to know, why don't you just share with us the shift from going from being on the Rainmaker model to the business model of hiring others to do it. Where did you find your agents, or where do you find the right agents to fit your culture? And then could you share with us the value proposition of why an agent joins your brokerage versus, say, a competitor?
Definitely. There's actually a class I've taken recently called Recruit Select that another big brokerage puts on, and I'm not the biggest fan of that brokerage and some of the things they do, but that class that they teach, Recruit Select, is absolutely phenomenal. It teaches you how to recruit the right agents, how to go through the interview process, how to really get to know these people on a deeper level, and really make sure that they're going to fit within the culture that you have within your brokerage. So that's been amazing. And I like to put people through tests, as we're going through things. If I'm looking to hire, let's say, an admin for my team, they need to be somebody who's very detail-oriented. So if I'm going to put an ad out, whether it be on Craigslist, on Facebook, or anywhere, I'm going to make people jump through hoops because I want people that know how to follow directions. So I'll put an ad out and say, I need you to send your resume to this specific email address. There needs to be a PDF file, and it needs to be in orange font. And I want to test people to see if they're going to take the time to actually read through the ad and make the changes to the resume that I've requested. And that, just adding those little hurdles in there, I think really helps you weed out the people that are just blasting resumes and calling every broker and stuff. So really just sifting through, from large sums of people. You could put an ad up for an admin person and have 100 people respond to it, but if you can add a couple extra little steps in there, you can go from 100 responses to 10, and those are going to be the 10 people you really want to talk to, and it helps you from wasting your time talking to a bunch of people that will never be a good fit in the long run.
Okay. So when an agent comes to your office, let's transition now to the Vyral Marketing Plan of getting email addresses, creating educational content, and then prioritizing follow-up with the people that consume that content. And you've done a pretty successful job to date doing technology. Let's talk about your database. How much has a database played in your role of your growth at this point? Like when you came to us in May, you weren't doing anything with the database. Is that right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the switch. Tell us about that mindset shift, and then what you did to start getting emails, to start working that more in May of last year.
For sure. I mean, one of the reasons we reached out to you guys, we had talked to a lot of other people that were utilizing your services, and they kept pushing us, give those guys a call, give them a call, and we were kind of resistant to it. I think as realtors, we all think we can do everything. We think we're Superman, we have all these magical powers, and we can do it. But what ends up happening, whether it be farming or doing video, we overthink it so much that we end up never actually doing anything. So we say, I'm going to do videos, but first you're like, well, what camera do I have, and how does it need to be set up, and what am I going to say, and you worry about all those things. And then it's like you record the video, and then you're like, all right, well, now what do I do with it? How am I going to edit it? What software do I need to edit it? Once it is edited, how am I going to send it out? And then how am I going to track it? And how am I going to do this? And how am I going to do that? And it becomes overwhelming to the point you actually do nothing. So we call it analysis paralysis. And the reason that I reached out to you guys is because you really offered a one-stop shop. I mean, we're at the point now when I need to record a video, send out, I spend less than 5 minutes a month on recording my videos, and you guys do the rest. You guys sent me the webcam, the lighting, everything that I needed in my office, and I can just go on, hit a button, and you guys will be on the phone with me, guiding me through the video to make sure I don't make mistakes, give me feedback, give me ideas, all that stuff. I record the video, I'm done. You guys do the editing, you guys do the distribution, get it on YouTube, get it up on Facebook, send it out via email, track the clicks, all that stuff. So for realtors, we want things that are either going to save us time or make us more money. And ultimately what you guys provide is something that does both of those, and that was really attractive to me.
So, but share it. I appreciate all that's wonderful. Thank you for saying all that. And that's what we do. But I want to go a little deeper back in May. Why did you make the shift that it took until May to start working the list? I mean, you didn't really work a list or a database up until that point. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I think we get sold so much as realtors that we always need to be generating more leads, whether it be Zillow or Realtor or Trulia or all these companies. Any conference you go to, there's 5 million people trying to sell you leads. We get calls every single day trying to sell us more leads, sell us more leads. But in reality, we don't always need more leads. We don't need to generate more leads. We need to learn how to convert more leads. And our database now, we have 19,000 buyers in our database between my personal database and all the agents on my team. So we have so many people already within our database. We don't need to worry about generating more leads. We need to focus on converting the leads that we already have in our database. And so
how many did you start with back in May when you first hired us and we went into your CRM systems, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, right? And we grabbed all those sources. We didn't grab your agents. We just grabbed just yours. Is that right? The company stuff?
I believe so. Initially, we were sending out to our entire database, so my leads as well as my agents. But now my agents are doing their own, and then all of the company leads are the ones that we're sending out to. So our company as a whole, I think when we started in May, had about 13,000, and now we're up to 19,000.
That's
So
great.
in just under a year, I think we've added 6,000 people to our database.
So in May we rounded up all those emails. We started sitting down once a month, recording 2 short educational video tips, usually questions that people ask about real estate. You answer them, send them out. People get that. Under the topic of emails, of getting email addresses, how in the world did you get 6,000 emails between May of last year and now?
A lot of open houses. I think open houses are a lost art in our industry. I think so many agents think that one, open houses don't sell properties or that they're a waste of time or whatever the case may be. We go all out on our open houses. An average open house, we'll usually get between 20 and 100 people to come through an open house, and we're not scared at our open houses. Most agents will have a sign-in sheet in the kitchen and they'll hope people are going to sign in. We have somebody stand at the door with an iPad with the Open Home Pro app and sign every single person in that comes through the door. And when you have, on an average weekend we have 4 or 5 agents that are out there doing open houses, we're getting anywhere from 100 to 200 new people just from open houses every single weekend. So open houses have been
That's
huge.
incredible.
Yeah, so I
Let's go a
love
little.
open.
Let's go a little deeper on that. How in the world, you know, that's a great strategy. I haven't really
Yeah.
heard that one very much. We go a
Yeah.
little deeper on how you get 200 people to show up to an open house.
Yeah, absolutely. So most people for an open house, what they do is Friday, they're like, oh, what am I going to hold open this weekend? Anybody in the office have anything? Oh, you got one? Okay, cool. I'll go hold that open this weekend. And they show up, 20 minutes before, throw 5 or 10 signs out, and they, walk in the door, and they're like, all right, let's see if anybody shows up. And that's literally the extent of what they do to prep for their open house. So for us, prepping for the open house starts no later than a Wednesday. So all my agents for this week, today's Thursday, so all my agents already have their open houses picked out for the week. And we start promoting things in advance. Literally while we're talking right now, we have 2 ISAs right now. We're ramping up to 4 ISAs. My one ISA right now is just circle dialing all of the neighbors surrounding that home. So we pulled in like 1,000 people that are within a mile of that home, and he's just calling every single one of those people, letting them, hey, we've got a new listing coming up in your neighborhood. Who do you know that might be looking to move to the area? We're going to be holding it open this weekend. We'd love for you to come by and check it out. So we're literally calling people and inviting them to come to the open house. So instead of just showing up on the weekend, putting a couple signs up and hoping people show up, we're proactively reaching out, calling all of these people and inviting them to come by. Again, we have a huge database now when we use Boomtown, and with Boomtown I can go in and punch in the criteria of that home, and it's going to tell me everybody in our database that would be interested in a home similar to that, and I'll queue that list up for my ISAs as well, and they'll call and they'll personally invite all of those people to come by. We'll email all those people and we'll text them. So everybody wants to be communicated with differently, so we want to make sure we hit them in all the different methods of communication to figure out which one it is that's going to actually connect with them. So we'll invite everybody out that way. We'll run super targeted Facebook ads. We'll usually pump $100 into each property to help promote the open house. And what's cool is it promotes the open house and gets traffic to come by, but it also generates a good amount of leads for us. Most of our open house ads, we're getting about $10 per lead on average. So we're getting leads that are coming to our website for more info, and we're getting leads that are actually walking in the door of the open house. So we're running the promoted Facebook ads. We're putting it on Zillow, Realtor Trulia, all of the big websites, Redfin, everything that's out there. And then when we do an open house, we don't put our own signs up. I think that's the biggest mistake that most realtors make, and probably one of the reasons a lot of realtors don't do open houses is they don't want to put the signs up. They hate it. That's the part we all dread. I pay people to put the signs up for us. Depending on the neighborhood and the location, we'll have anywhere from 50 to 100 signs up for an average open house.
It's
and
incredible.
The neighborhood that I focus on, the main intersection by there, we have 30 just at one intersection. So we go really, really big when it comes to the open houses. A lot of agents put one on each corner, and it's like all it takes is a gust of wind, your sign falls down, nobody's ever even going to find your open house. So we make sure that unless a tornado comes through, people are going to know that our open houses are there.
And these are great emails, because what we teach is you prospect, you reach out to people, you introduce yourself, and you ask for an email address over the phone. That's pretty typically how it's done, but the quality of that email address might just be, here's an email to get off the phone with me.
Right.
You're reaching out to bring them to an event, and then you secure
Right.
the emails face-to-face from the event. The quality of that database is going to far exceed anyone just getting it over the phone through prospecting, in my opinion. And that's incredible.
Especially, yeah, and most of the time at an open house, we've met the people face to face. So the value in that is amazing, because internet leads are great and all, but we haven't met them. When you can actually shake somebody's hand, you can put a face to go with the name. I mean, that's so valuable. And you're going to have to talk to these people, had a good conversation with them. With that Open Home Pro app, the second somebody walks out the door, I'm running over to that iPad and logging notes in about that person, so that when we are doing our follow-up, we remember, who they are and what they're all about.
Well, that's an incredible tip, and I think anyone watching this can learn quite a bit from that. Christine has a question. What system do you use to collect numbers for the neighborhood to make those calls?
We just switched. We're using Cole Realty Resource right now to get those. And we've been using Mojo in the past, but we switched over to Cole Realty Resource because they can get cell phone numbers, and our connection rate using Cole is drastically higher than when
it's pretty inexpensive. It's like only $300 or $400 a year for unlimited numbers, isn't it?
If you want cell phone numbers, it ends up being a little bit more money. If you want just basic home numbers, I think it's around $400 a month. If you want cell phone numbers, it's or $400 a year. I'm sorry. And if you want cell phone, it's like $1,200 a year. But $100 a month is nothing. I mean, that's no money. And what we're doing now that we have cell phone numbers, we're going to start running custom audience ads on Facebook as well. So now we can take all those cell phone numbers, run an ad targeted just to because most people on Facebook register their cell phone, not a home phone. So now we can run custom audience ads to the same people that we're calling, which is going to be amazing. And we're going to do the same thing with our expired calls. We're going to run expired ads to the same people that we're calling. So as they're seeing our ads in their news feed, they're getting calls from our ISAs at the same time.
Wonderful. Well, that's a great tip. So the way that you're really building that list is obviously all the passive leads that come online. But I would say prospecting to an open house, getting the emails to the open house, and bringing them to your database. Now let's shift from building the list, and now let's shift toward what do you do when you have it. So why don't you tell me your strategy of how you come up with the topics and what you have been doing to get engagement and to work the people, all those emails, to stay in touch and get business from that.
Definitely. So as far as the video side of it goes, what we found is people like market update videos. Anybody can go on to any website, Realtor, Redfin, or Zillow, Trulia, all that stuff. They can go on there and they can see the stats. But the value and the reason companies, and I know Redfin's not a national company, but they're a big company in Southern California at least, and the reason that some of these internet-based brokerages haven't taken over like people would think they would is there's still a lot of value in opinions. And people value our opinion when it comes to the stats. They don't want to just know what the stats are, but they want somebody to interpret that for them. Most consumers don't know what inventory means. As realtors, we say the word inventory all the time, or we talk about absorption rates or all this stuff. But where our value is as a realtor is to explain to the consumer what that means to them. One of the sales tools I learned a long time ago when I was selling car stereos, it was called fabbing. And fabbing is feature, advantage, and benefit. So if you're going to tell somebody about something or a feature, you've got to tell them, well, what's the advantage of it? And most importantly, what's the benefit to them? So when you're telling somebody about what's going on with the market, they want to know how is it going to affect them. So that's where the value comes in sending out a market update is anybody can say market's up 2% last month and inventory's down and sales are up. That doesn't mean anything to people. What does mean something to them is what is it going to mean to them and how is it going to affect them. And that's what we're able to do with those market update videos we send out. We can really help explain that, and that's where we become valuable to them because we're a resource. It's actually helping them understand what's going on in the market beyond just the statistics that are out there. So we tend to send one of those videos every month, and then we'll do one that's more of an explainer type video. So I always learned when we used to do a lot of text blogging was if somebody asks you a question 3 times, you need to write a blog about it. So same thing with the videos. Anytime we get a question asked to us more than once, we need to make sure that we do a video answering that question. And the cool thing is, one, we know it's a question other people have, so we can send that out. But now by having that video, if we have a new lead that comes in and says, well, hey, what is a contingent short sale? You can say, oh, that's funny you asked. We just shot a video explaining exactly what that is. And you send somebody out a video answering their question as opposed to typing that long response over and over and over again. People see that video like, oh, wow, this guy is really on the game, like really on the ball here. This is cool. So those are the 2 main types of videos that we've been sending out.
And how much time does it take? Why don't you go through how simple it is, not so much with Vyral, but just talk to me about how much time it takes to shoot these videos. At least you're moving toward like green screen, really high in production, but at least from a webcam like this.
Right.
Oh my gosh, just a simple webcam. Tell me more about the actual production of producing these videos and how much time it takes and what you do to make it efficient.
For sure. I mean, when we first started shooting, one of the things that was cool is you guys give us a success manager. Like I mentioned, they're on the call with us during the when we're recording the video, so
Yeah,
they're
your
listening in.
director.
Yeah,
Call me a director.
which is cool because in the beginning you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're scared, you're freaked out. So having somebody there to kind of talk you through it, critique you, give you advice how to make it better. So I mean, in the beginning, we record the same video 4 or 5 times over and over to get it right. But I'm at a point now where it's just become routine. I know what to say, how to say it, how I'm going to open, how I'm going to close, what's my call to action. So where it's mindless now, and I can typically do all my videos in one take. And I might spend 5 minutes researching like market stats. I'll 5 minutes, pull the stats real quick, and I'll tape it to my computer screen and right below the webcam. And that way I'm looking at the webcam and I'll just run through, all right, here's what's up with sales, inventory, prices, and then just roll with it. And most of the time I can get them done in one take. So 2 videos, ideally, 2 to 3 minutes each. I'm done in 5 to 10 minutes most of the time in those 2 videos for the month.
Okay. So we have the topics. One, market update on what that update means to the consumer, whether they're a buyer or seller. Make sure you interpret that. And then the other is a question that is commonly asked that you answer, which is great. I would love to put in those videos going further. Kyle, is a little pound Ask Kyle. For your agents, put a little pound Ask Kyle campaign. That'd be kind of cool.
Let's do it. I like that.
All right, so even more technology with pound signs. So let's move on to what we do with those videos now, or what you do with those videos. So we have the video. That video goes out to your entire database of all of the emails you have. So you have 2 emails a month going out to your entire list. They go up on your Facebook page. They go up on your LinkedIn page. They get tweeted out. They go up on Google+. They also syndicate to an iTunes podcast. What other things? Is there anything else you want to add to as far as the distribution and optimization of that video content to get it out to the audience?
So in my farm, we have a Facebook community page within my farm, or it's a secret group, and so I'll post the video in there. I try not to post anything real estate related except that once a month market update, because that's what people like to see. I don't post in their new listing or all that other stuff like a lot of other realtors do. So in the Facebook page, and then next door is another community social network. So Facebook secret group, and then next door we have a group for our community. So I'll post the videos in those places. And then, like I mentioned, if somebody comes in with a question and we have an explainer video that'll answer that question, rather than typing out a long response to them, we'll send them that video, and that's been really helpful.
That's great. Tell us a little more about Nextdoor.
So nextdoor.com, nextdoor.com, they basically built a website. They feel that the problem with society today is most people don't know their neighbors, which is true in most communities. My previous community, I think I knew my 2 direct next-door neighbors, and outside of that I didn't know anybody on my street. So Nextdoor is a social network that was built to connect neighbors with neighbors, so people can actually get to know each other. And it's similar to a Facebook group. You can go on and post, there's general questions, lost and found, classifieds. They have different categories of posting stuff. It can be, there's always going to be the people that are constantly negative, complaining about the HOA or complaining about this or that. But it's a really cool way to connect with everybody within your community. And the cool thing with Nextdoor that's better than Facebook is they'll help promote it for you. So even if there's no Nextdoor page for your community right now, you can sign up for Nextdoor, and they'll actually send postcards out to everybody in your community inviting them to like the page. So they'll actually promote it for you without you having to spend any money, which is really cool. And then by you being like the original one that started it, people kind of look up to you as like the webmaster or the forum master on that stuff, which is really cool. And then you just help facilitate conversations. So the main thing that we do both with the Facebook and Nextdoor page is just try to be a resource for people. With us being realtors, everybody should have a plumber, an electrician, a window guy, a maid. We should have all of those. So anytime somebody asks a question on those pages, I always want to be the first person to respond to it, because I become a valuable resource to my neighbors. And they're like, Kyle, you have somebody for everything. You're like, well, yeah, as a realtor, that's one of the things that we build up as a database of reliable people. And so as you become resourceful to your neighbors, it really becomes valuable. And then one other thing, just to kind of go back to the open houses, you can do event pages on Facebook and Nextdoor. So when we do open houses, we'll do, depending on the neighborhood, if you have a neighborhood where people drink, we'll do this. If it's, like a 55-plus community, probably not so much. But we do wine and cheese open houses for everybody that lives in the neighborhood, and those have been hugely successful. So what we're doing right now is we'll run our public open house from 1 to 3, and then from 3 to 5 we'll roll over to a wine and cheese neighbors only open house, and we just invite all the neighbors to come by and come check out the house. Especially if you're in like a condo community or a tract home community, everybody wants to see what other people are doing to their house. So people will come by, and then there's wine and there's cheese there, and they'll hang out and they'll chit chat, and a lot of times they'll stay there for, you know, a half hour, an hour, and it gives us a really good chance to build a relationship with them and obviously get their contact information while they're there.
I just want everyone to hear what I'm hearing you say is the emails you're gathering are from live in-person events. Is the prospecting brings them to the event.
A lot of them, yeah.
The event, you capture the information to the database.
Yeah.
And that's a big aha for anyone watching this, as far as database quality of getting those emails. But back to the making of the videos.
Yes.
Do you have any benefit with SEO? I mean, talk about a competitive market to rank on keyword terms in San Diego. Have you seen any SEO benefit from this?
I know that I've found my videos. It's hard to tell because you're logged into Google all the time, so you're seeing when you're logged into Google, it's going to pull different results than if you were a third party. But I know there's times where I'll type stuff into Google, and our video will be there on the first page of the Google results. So I think that that stuff is really valuable. And as people start to see those videos, you become just a more credible resource to them. And I think that's our value as realtors, is to be a resource. So the more people see us doing videos and see our name out there doing open houses and doing a lot of these things, it all starts to tie in together. The more different ways that we touch them, again, text, phone, email, Facebook, Nextdoor, open houses, YouTube, all that stuff, it all starts to kind of tie in together, and they really see us as a resource, and when it comes time to need that resource, you're the one that's top of mind at that point.
Okay. So let's talk into some of the immediate benefits of communicating with your database. So one of the things that we teach here at Vyral Marketing is the business that's like right here in front of your face for your database is you can track the names of the people who click the links in your emails to watch the videos. But even a step further, you can track the names of the people that click what's called the call to action link. So at the bottom of every email, we include links of like, hey, here's this great educational video, but hey, if you are actually interested in buying a house, you can go search for homes on my website. Or if you really are actually thinking about selling your house, because not everyone on this list is, you can go here to get a free value report. You can track those links. Have you been calling those people? Have you been calling what's called the open and click reports? And can you tell us about the benefit of that, if you've seen
Absolutely.
one?
So, I mean, that's what ISAs are for. There's so many people in this industry that try to do everything themselves, from generating leads to converting leads to appointments, appointments to contracts, contracts to close, and then, following up with their existing database. It's really hard to do all of that as a single agent. So for us, ISAs have been huge. So when working with you guys, you send us a report and say, here's everybody who received it, who opened it, who clicked it, who took action, all that stuff. And then I just give that list to my ISAs, queue that up in their phone system, and I just let them rip. And then they'll, give all those people a call and just let them know, hey, I saw that you checked out the video. What did you think? They'll get some feedback, and ideally give some constructive criticism of how we can make the videos better. We'll ask them for tips on what other stuff they'd like to see in future videos, and then we'll ask them, what can we do to help them? Are they looking to buy? Are they looking to sell? So it gives us a good touch point with people because we know they've looked at the video. So it's an easier call to make for our ISAs because they're talking to people that we know have watched the video or at least have opened the email up. So that's been really helpful.
So let's show that to everybody. Hopefully, Kyle, on your screen, do you see?
Yep, I can see it.
The email. Hopefully I can zoom in here. Hang on. All right, everybody, that should hopefully help you. So here's an example of an email. The key is to get them where they don't look overproduced, where it looks like spam, but not really simple. You want to have a happy medium. Usually, this is kind of our happy medium. Good, strong headline. There's your video, screenshot in there. Then you can see the call to action links that we spoke about later down here at the bottom if you're interested in buying or selling a property. So people will get this email in their inbox, and they can click this, and this drives them back to your blog where they can watch the video, and there's other call to action links. Here's another example. I think this is another example. Are you wasting money? This is when the 3% conventional mortgages came out, right? You sent out a timely message about that because that was pretty hot in the news around that time.
Right.
And we also have a couple new templates we're working on here at Vyral. This is a different one. This basically has the template at the top, strong headline. You can see the screenshot here is a lot nicer. We'll talk about that because you've invested in some pretty nice camera equipment, all right? And then a little teaser copy, we call that, and then 2 big call to action links to your sites right there. And then I think I have one more in here. This is your open and click report, and I want to share this with everybody. Everyone's like, okay, well, why should I do this if only 1% or 2% click through, or I don't know, or 10% watch it? Well, here's the size of some of the lists that we're sending to. This is one of the lists that we have going out. And you can see as open rates depending upon, we have some list segments that are going out here, but roughly 10, 15%, let's say opening, and maybe 1, maybe sometimes 2% for a click-through. The key is when people see the videos, all they have to really do is open the email because you have the trappings of authority. The fact that you're sending them this nice video email, regardless if they watch it or not, gives you the credibility. And then the people who really click it, I mean, certainly if you sent an email out about buying a home and saving on a down payment, and let's say that 1% of the 8,000, those 80 people, here's 80 people that actually watched a video on saving money on down payment. That's 80 people your ISA calls, and you probably convert those to some referrals or appointments, I would think. So it's not bad having a lower click rate, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever, because that gives you the names of the people to call. I just want to share that.
Yeah, and then when we send a video out, we'll typically get a handful of new leads that come from it. So being that all the leads we're sending the video to are already in our database, any new leads, that means those are people that have shared that video with somebody else, and then that person signed up on the website. So we'll usually get anywhere from 2 to 10 new leads that'll come in every time we send a video out. So then that helps grow our database even more, and it's cool because that means people are actually sharing the content with other people, so they're seeing value in it.
Sure. Well, people want to know what ISA means. Why don't you explain ISA and where to get them, what they do?
An ISA is just a fancy term for a telemarketer. So when I hire my ISAs, I recruit strictly telemarketers. Our ISAs, the typical day for them is to come in the office, 8:30 to 9 o'clock, they'll role play. So we call in all of our agents, ISAs, and other ISAs and agents from around the country. We'll all role play with each other for a half hour. First 2 hours of the day, they're calling nothing but expireds. So they're calling all the expired listings, canceled, withdrawals, and for sale by owners. Middle of the day for an ISA is they'll be doing a lot of lead follow-up in the middle of the day where you're not doing new prospecting, so they're following up with all the existing leads that they have to-dos for. And then at the end of the day, they'll go back through again, call the expireds, the canceleds, the withdrawals, and the FSBOs. So in an average day, our ISAs are making 200 to 300 dials every single day.
What's the script for somebody that calls an open and click on your email? So what's the script they say on your behalf if they're calling somebody that watches a video?
Yeah, so I mean, if they're calling on a video, hey, this is Con with Whissel Realty. I want to give you a call. I saw you checked out the video that Kyle sent out about, FHA loans. What did you think of the video? Again, it's all about open-ended questions. And they'll get a conversation going and talk to them. And they really just kind of take the conversation from there. But it really just starts out, hey, I saw you checked out the video. What did you think of it? And then let them start dialoguing. And then they'll ask them, well, what would you like to see in future videos? Do you have some ideas of things that you would like to see? Because people like that. They feel like their opinion actually matters. Whether it does or not, it doesn't matter, but they feel like their opinion matters. So I like, giving people that power. And then they'll follow up and say, well, just out of curiosity, who do you know that might be interested or buying or selling or taking advantage of this new FHA loan program? And then they'll work on, getting leads from it that way. But that's basically just, did you watch the video? What did you think of it? What would you like to see in future videos?
Those people are more likely to probably do something about real estate or know who you are when you call them versus randomly slogging through your whole list.
Yeah, because the name's gonna ring a bell because the branding's on the videos, it's on the email, so it's not like it's a cold call at that point. The ISAs like it because those are the warmest calls that they make, so those are easy ones for them.
Mm-hmm. Roger has a question. Roger asks, what program is being used to send and monitor the open and click rate? Roger, we use Vertical Response. You can go to verticalresponse.com. We have a great relationship with them. We contractually obligate ourselves to send tens of millions of emails on behalf of Vyral Marketing clients. Our cost is $3 per 1,000 emails that we send is our email rate. I think if you go buy it retail, it'll be about $15 per 1,000, I believe. And Jimmy, an ISA is short for either an inbound sales assistant or they call an inside sales assistant, someone to help you with phone calls to find leads so they can pass them up to the salesperson. And a really great book that talks about ISAs. Great book. This is just for my own, changed my life. Predictablerevenue.com. Go get the book at predictablerevenue.com. We'll talk about hiring prospectors to call the raw leads to give you the warm ones versus having the expensive salesperson, the account executive, or yourself calling raw leads, which is generally very inefficient. So let's keep moving on. So let's talk now. So you're calling the people opening and clicking. What other results can you directly attribute? So I'm getting emails. making videos. I mean, is there any direct trackable ROI from all this that you know?
I mean, there's the new leads that are coming in. So typically for leads right now, whether it's, I mean, on Facebook, we're averaging about $10 per lead on Facebook. AdWords is $15 per lead. Zillow, Realtor, Trulia are $50 per lead. So when we send a video out, if I can get 5 new leads on every single video, if you equate that to what we're paying for Zillow leads, that's $250 worth of leads right there. And those leads are going to be a lot better because they've actually seen your video. They've, and reached out and said, hey, I'm looking for more information. So those are really valuable leads. So we have those direct trackable results. And then the other one is just when we're talking with our clients, they'll reference the videos. They'll actually bring it up in conversation and say, hey, that was an awesome video. I'm really glad you sent that out. I love watching your videos. Like, we hear that all the time from our clients. So that's more of an indirect, result of it. But the most direct is seeing new leads coming in. And then the indirect result is people actually referencing, things that they liked about the videos. We're seeing a lot of that. And then when the ISAs are making calls, they're getting us referrals a lot of the time, too, for new people that might be interested. So we're always trying to grow and meet more people.
Great. Well, Kyle, you're killing it here with the information. Thank you so much. We're all very helpful, very thankful to hear these great ideas.
Absolutely.
Let's take it to a whole new level. So that we did the basic viral marketing plan, your story, how you get emails, how you publish content, what the content is, then how do you prioritize follow-up, and what's the results from that. That's the general theme of the database marketing hangout. But I promised everyone in the promo is that you're looking to take this to a whole new level by hiring a full-time video person in your office.
Yes.
Why don't you explain to us, this has been working so well, how you plan to bring this catalyst on to scale it even more?
Absolutely. So we've seen the results already in just doing simple webcam videos, and we've just really wanted to take this to another level. And as I mentioned, as we get away from REO and short sale, we're shifting more and more into the higher end markets, doing everything we can to increase that average price. Starting to do the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million listings is more of the market we're starting to target. So we really wanted to kick everything up a notch. And I hired a full-time media manager for our office. And so some of the things that he's doing for us is we have a full green screen studio set up in our office now. And not only me, but my agents can all utilize his services to record super high quality videos, that the webcam videos, and there's a time and place for webcam videos. We like to actually send a webcam video out to new leads when they first come in and just make it a personalized video. So, hey, Frank, thanks so much for coming on, checking out homes in downtown San Diego. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Give me a call when you have a few free minutes to chat. So we'll send webcam videos, and for those one-off videos, those are great. But for the big market updates, we want to really have that higher-end luxury presence. And so having the green screen studio in our office has been amazing because the quality of the videos, we can just take it to a whole nother level of
How much did you invest to get, so when people go to your blog and they see the videos, they'll be following you. Give us an idea of the costs of getting that together with the camera and the lights and everything else.
I mean, I hired a guy he was already doing wedding photography and wedding videography, so he had the majority of the equipment already, which was amazing. So I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on the equipment, more just on the green screen studio and stuff, a few $100, maybe $500 for that with the lights. Mm-hmm. But as far as the cameras and all that stuff, he had all that, luckily. And then just spending for the different software. So having Adobe Creative Suite, obviously that's a must that you have to have. So we invested in that. And then he's doing some stuff for us as well outside of the office. We love drone videos, and whatever the FAA says about them, so be it. And whenever they come down with rulings, we'll deal with it as it comes. But we're doing drone videos. I mean, on our higher end listings, these are unique homes, and you can't capture everything from the ground. So we've been doing a lot of drone videos, and we were dropping like $1,500 every time we'd hire somebody to come do a photo shoot and bring their drone out and shoot the drone video for us. And if we're doing 2 or 3 of those a month, I mean, we're spending $3, $4, $5 a month just to do that. So I hired a guy, and now he's full-time salary on my team for less than what I would spend to do 3 drone videos. So now I can do drone videos on every property I list, whether it's $1 million or $100,000 if I want to. We can do drone videos on all of that. Plus, we have the whole green screen studio here in the office that myself and all my agents can use. So I mean, we're just taking video to a whole nother level. In every property we list, we have a full motion video, with a on-screen intro, with voiceovers, with drone, all that stuff on almost every listing that we do, which is helping us to really get more business from the higher end stuff that we're going after.
That's great. So one of the things that you're doing is you have 15 agents in your office, and your job is to help them basically build a team themselves in your
Right.
brokerage. Okay.
Absolutely.
So you have the company database that your videos with your brand goes to for the company, but as your team grows and it's them and not so much you, you want to pull yourself out of being the face of the brand of the company.
Right.
So what you're doing is you're getting all the agents, or why don't you explain your vision with that? You're better explaining that.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as just the video side of it, a lot of my agents were seeing the success that I was having with the videos. They all wanted to start doing their own videos, but they didn't want to deal with all the time that it takes to shoot them, to edit them, they didn't want to spend the money on it. So that's where bringing in our media manager, he's able to do all that stuff for them. So when they're here, we basically have the studio set up every Tuesday. We do our office meeting, and then all the agents just pop in and shoot a video every Tuesday. And then he sits down and does the editing. He drops the background in the green screen, drops the on-screen graphics on, edits it, puts it on YouTube, and does all that stuff for them.
And gets it out from the agent to their list. So they
Correct.
get their own open and click reports, and they build their own brand underneath your brand.
Correct, because I'm not the kind of team leader where I want my name on everything. There's a lot of people where it's like, they'll write an offer on our property and we'll mark it pending, like, oh, you need to put so-and-so's name on it. And I don't roll like that. I don't care about my name being branded out there as much, because I know that if my agents are successful, I'll naturally be successful in return. So I'm not the kind of team leader where I want my name and face on everything. None of the signs have my face on them. I don't like that style, so that's not really our thing. I want my agents to have their own individual brands. I want their names to be known. I don't want everybody to be dependent on Kyle Whissel. So what we've started doing now is I've taken everything I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years of building a team, and I'm starting to help build teams around my agents, which has been really cool. So we're starting to give them an ISA, have them have showing agents, listing assistants, executive assistants, all that stuff. So we're really starting to build teams within our team, because we've kind of grown past a team at this point. We're more of a brokerage. So now we're putting teams within the brokerage, which is really exciting to kind of see some of my agents that are on that next level to help take them, leaps and bounds ahead of where they already are.
Yep. One of the things you're looking to do too is when there's hot news topics or hot news items, is getting a video out as fast as possible with that keyword in it.
Absolutely.
So the press calls you. So tell us about that.
Yeah, getting the videos out there quick is huge, because when something's topical, so you could do a video like on Monday, if you could have shot a video talking about the Grammys and Kanye West and Beck, and shot a video that referenced that and got that out first thing Monday morning, think about how high the click rate's going to be and the open rate's going to be on a video like that. So when you can send really topical stuff out there, it's huge. You'll get higher response rates, you'll get higher opens, higher click rates. So by having somebody here in the office, having a green screen studio in the office, we can churn videos around within hours of actually shooting them, within hours of something becoming topical. And we're not the kind of brokerage we're scared to touch on current events. We'll take advantage of them in whatever way we can to get people to open. Because
I got an idea, Kyle.
Like pop culture.
How about you run an ad saying, "Hey, John Stewart, you can come sell real estate with me, and click here to find out all the benefits."
Seriously, that would work. Let's do it.
So, all right. So I think this is good. Is there anything else you want to share on how you're going to be leveraging video with this new full-time video person? I think people understand the economics of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the really cool ideas that I have is, especially on our higher end stuff, is before we go out to the property, we're going to record an on-screen intro here in the office with the green screen. And it'll just say, hey, I'm standing here in front of 123 Main Street. It's an amazing home located in La Jolla neighborhood. We're super excited to tell you all about it. Come on inside and check it out. We'll record that before we ever even go out to the house, and we'll record an outro as well. For more info on this house, schedule a private showing, give us a call. We'll have all that recorded before we go out to the house. Then when we get to the house, as the owner's walking me around the house, I'll let them know, hey, would you mind if he just grabs a couple photos real quick? Just want to give you an idea of the kind of thing we do here at Whissel Realty. And so while I'm sitting down, building rapport with the seller, going through our listing presentation, he's running around shooting some photos, and then he can pop in, throw a video together really quick right there on the spot, sit down at the table with us while we're doing our listing presentation, say, hey, just want to show you what we put together here in the 15 minutes that we've been at your house. Hit play and play this video. And just completely knock the seller's socks off and say, look, if this is what we can do in 15 minutes, imagine what we can do if you hire us to get your home sold. So, just taking it to a whole nother level.
That's great, Kyle. Well, thanks for sharing all this. Let's open up the last 10 minutes for questions. Roger asks, If Kyle would share, what percentage of GCI are you spending on marketing? Web, email, video, drones? Just a ballpark is fine. I mean, how do you know? How do you come up with a marketing budget for your business to make sure that you're with like a range that gives you decent ROI?
I suck at that stuff. So that's been my big thing. I have somebody who's handling the accounting for us this year. So to be honest, that side of things I suck on. I just see cool things and I spend the money and I try them.
Well, are you profitable? I mean, that's the question. I mean, are you spending all the money to get it?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely profitable. So we are tracking, what the return on our investment is. But as far as a budget, I don't run off a budget so much. If there's something new, I'm going to try it. I'm definitely not scared to try new things. And if we start to see something is working, we're getting a high return, we're going to spend more money on it. If we're getting no return,
rough idea on the total spend you spend on marketing? Like, give me a range. Like, how much, just to blow people's minds.
$30,000 a month.
So you're spending $30,000 a month
to
market yourself and to market your listings.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Corey asked, what type of subject lines? This is a whole other hangout, by the way, and this is something I know very well, Corey. What kind of subject lines do you use in your emails to enhance open rates? Maybe I can get your take on that, Kyle.
Well, this is where you guys have been so helpful is, again, I shoot the video, you guys do everything. So you guys come up with the taglines, you guys come up with the content of the emails, which is really cool.
The headline's the most important thing.
Yeah, I trust you guys. That's what we're paying our money for, is to have you guys come up with that stuff rather than us trying to be the expert. This is what you guys do, and you track it day in, day out, and that's why we worked with you guys.
Sure. Francina, we answered an ISA is basically telemarketer. An inbound sales assistant is kind of the terminology. Inside
you can come up with whatever you want. When we're talking to clients, they introduce themselves as a client concierge. And if you think about if you're at a hotel and you go to the concierge, you're typically walking up to the desk saying, hey, I'm looking to go scuba diving. And then what does the concierge do? They're going to ask you a few questions, is there any part of San Diego you want to go scuba diving in? Are you certified? What level are you? They're going to ask you a few questions, and then what they're going to do is connect you with the right scuba diving company to help you with what you were looking to do. So our client concierge is the same way, and their script when they're talking to leads is, my job here at Whissel Realty as a client concierge is to learn more about you and what your goals are and connect you with the right agent on our team to help you accomplish those goals. And that's the way we pitch it when we're actually talking to clients.
Great. Kyle, are you in coaching?
Yes, I coach directly with Tom Ferry.
Great. And yes, right now he's using vertical response to send the videos. What you do with that, Roger, is you grab a screenshot either from YouTube or directly from within the video editing software, which is the best, the highest quality, and you put that into the email as a JPEG with a little fake play button on it you did in Photoshop. Then you link that, so when the image is clicked, it just takes you right back to the blog. The video actually doesn't play in the email. When you click the JPEG in the email, it takes you back to the blog where the video is hosted with the write-up and the call to action buttons and all those things. But vertical response, this is a viral marketing thing. Sending big blast emails about real estate out to a list is probably the most spammy thing that gets hits by spam filters outside of like pharmaceutical drugs, get rich quick, and mortgages. So you have to have a relationship with a very good email service provider that actually probably personally knows you of what you're trying to accomplish, or else you're going to be hit by spam filters all the time when this stuff goes out. And you have to know how to write the emails to not use words that will trigger spam filters, and we know how to do that. So I just have a very good relationship with vertical response. We have used them since the very beginning of our business. If anyone's looking to send broadcast emails out, I highly recommend them for big broadcast emails. If you're looking for more of a one-to-one email, like a personal message that you shared, Kyle, check out BombBomb. Those guys are great for the one-to-one personal emails. Jamie asked, do you charge an agent a fee for the video shoot?
Yes. So the agents pay $200 a month for the right to have those videos produced for them, and they get $4 per month for that $200, and it's $1 per week. If they don't show up 1 week, that's their bad, not mine. So every Tuesday the studio's set up. If they come in and use it, cool. If they don't, then they miss that opportunity, but it's still $200 a month to use that.
Yeah. Don asks, since the average agent obviously doesn't have $30K, you have to build up to that point, what would an agent do to start with a smaller budget? Well, my answer would be Vyral. I can get all this for you for a build fee one time and $550 a month. I can get you some pretty darn good ROI on that. Anything you want to add to that on, Kyle? And you don't have to plug me on this.
Yeah, I mean, just on the marketing side, do open houses. Like we talked about at the beginning, open houses don't cost a lot of money to do. And open houses, you sit down in a house and people walk in the door to come and talk to you. I mean, that's amazing. We don't spend, I mean, we do get our, I don't think I mentioned it before, but we always get our open houses catered to by whatever is the local restaurant. A lot of times if there's new restaurants, they'll pay for the food, so they'll just give us food for free so we can help promote them. We have a lot of breweries and wineries in the area too, so we'll get free beer, free wine for those events. So, I mean, our open houses, we're spending virtually nothing to do those, and we're getting anywhere from 20 to 100 people to walk in the door and meet us. So for marketing, if you want a great way to market, don't get sucked in by all of the online lead generation stuff. Focus on the face-to-face stuff first, and then start adding in all that online stuff later.
Great. What would you say about marketing agreements or having lenders pay for any things? Any advice you can give people on that that's within the law of maybe how that might be structured, or you do anything on that you'd like to share?
Hire an attorney. So I'm not an attorney, so the way that we work it, everybody can work it out differently, but we have our own radio show and we have our own TV show. And we get sponsors, and when they sponsor with us, they're buying into a whole package of things. So we actually have a vendor partnership program that we put together, and they can buy in and get something as simple as just coming on the radio once a year and being on our website, to stuff where they're on the radio running commercials on our radio spots, coming on TV with me, doing a lot of that stuff as well. So we've basically built like 4 tiers out of what's included in those different sponsorship levels, and then when they're paying that money, it's going to the radio station, not directly to us.
Great. Christine asked earlier, I'm sorry, Christine, I missed this one, those signs that you mentioned for the open house, do you use bright colors and with a lender?
Yeah, open house signs, we order them. The company we use that's the cheapest that I can find is signsonthecheap.com. They have 10% off forever, always. They'll send you a new email every month that they have 10% off. You can basically order 50 signs plus A-frames and everything. You'll spend like $500 to get 50 signs, 40 of them on stakes, 10 on A-frames. It's like a $500 investment. On the open house signs, I'm big on the brand name and the agent name being the focal point of it. I think phone numbers are stupid. I think websites are stupid. I think pictures are stupid. I think you really want to focus on branding your company name and your name. So as you're doing open houses in the same neighborhood over and over, your name and company becomes synonymous with that neighborhood, and you're top of mind when it comes time to make that buying or selling decision.
That's great. Kyle, what's your blog site? So we started with the blog with Vyral. We built you the seller-oriented blog, and then we started embedding the stuff onto your other Boomtown site of what you're using. Yeah. So it was in multiple locations. Where can people go to find all your stuff at this point?
It's all on Boomtown, so whisselrealty.com. That's our Boomtown site. So that's got all the stuff that Boomtown's done for us, as well as all of our videos are on there as well.
Great. And then, yes, Cole Realty Resources, where you get those phone numbers. Are your ISAs local or overseas, Harry asks?
Local. I don't like the overseas model because I feel like market knowledge is more valuable than anything. So if somebody's talking about buying, you guys are here in San Diego, Frank, so somebody's talking about buying by the beach, you've got to know the difference between Ocean Beach and Pacific Beach and Oceanside and Carlsbad. If you don't know the difference between all of those different neighborhoods, people are going to see right
really
through
fast.
you. Yeah, and I mean, we're in San Diego. We're a very diverse community. I mean, San Diego is about as diverse as it gets in the United States, where the accent's not a big deal. But if you're in the Midwest and you've got an ISA who has a really thick foreign accent, or the South especially, I don't know how well that's going to go over.
Okay. Derek Bauer, how you doing, man? Glad to hear you bought the Predictable Revenue book. That is a wonderful book. Kyle, you should check that one out. It's on how to build like a really good scalable sales team.
I can't read. Is it on audiobook?
I'm sure it is. I'll come on over down here. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
All right. So Chris asked, does Kyle really raise pigs?
Yeah, we have 2 pet pigs, and we actually even have a full 501c3 nonprofit pig rescue where we're rescuing pigs here in San Diego. So if you want to check it out, Penelope's Purpose on Facebook. We could use donations or volunteers.
That's great. Well, I'll end it there for everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming to this this database marketing hangout. And Kyle, thank you so much for just being so free with all of the information. Christine, the book again is predictablerevenue.com. All right, written by Aaron Ross. He actually built the sales team for Salesforce.com. It talks about specializing sales roles. It's a great book. But for anyone who is interested, hear me out before you click off this, is we offer a free trial here at Vyral Marketing. So the question is, before you hire us, what results can you expect? Is it worth the build fee? Is it worth spending the money every month? Oh my gosh, I put myself on camera. What results can you expect from your database? Well, we have what's called the magical seller lead generation email. Kyle, do we ever send this out for you?
Yes. Yeah, so that's the other thing. You guys come up with some stuff that's not video, too, for us to send out.
Yeah, direct offers.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep. So every 3 months, we recommend for all of our viral marketing clients, as the videos kind of build the nurturing and gets good results with that. But every 3 months, you go right to the jugular with your list saying, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, here's the reasons why, here's where the market's at, get a free value report or go here to search for homes. And just sending that one direct offer out, if you go to Google right now, type in magical seller lead generation email, and you want the winter 2014 one as the latest one, if we literally just copy and paste that and round up all the emails in your database and send it out, you will get instant seller leads. I 100% guarantee it. 100%. And if you want us to do that for you, we'll do it for you for absolutely no charge. So you kind of get a feel of what's like working together. And you get a feel for, wow, this is pretty cool. By sending this email out, I prioritize some prospects, to position me as an expert. It's written really well. So you can actually see the actual written letter online. I want to do that completely for free for you. So if you're interested in that, go to GetVyral, GetVyral.com, click a free strategy session, request a free strategy session. You'll talk with one of our senior coaches here at Vyral to get a little more about your business. We'll send that out, and there's no obligation or pressure to hire us. I want you to see that if we start working together, we can start helping you move in the direction of getting the results that Kyle is getting here. But Kyle, I want to say thank you very much for your time today, and if you're interested in any more of these database marketing hangouts, again, subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Go on Google+, follow us on Google+, follow us on our YouTube channel, and the replay of this event, once we're done, will be right here on this page that you can watch to get all the information you need. But I want to thank everyone for attending, and Kyle, thank you very much for your time today. Man,
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me.
Great. Everyone have a great day.